what is SAP Analytics Cloud. We will look at the course overview and we will also discuss who is this course for. Towards the end of the demo, we will look at a real-time use case by building a dashboard story on top of real dataset. And then finally, we will look at some of the frequently asked questions. So let's get started with this demo session with a quick introduction of what is SAP Analytics Cloud. So let's understand what is SAC or SAP Analytics Cloud. Let's take an example. We have a team member. His name is Steve. Steve is working as an IT professional with a multinational giant. The company has a requirement to develop analytics on top of the data which comes from different data sources. So it's a big company. It's a chain of hospitals which is operating across the globe. And there are so many data centers where the data of all these hospitals are getting collected. The requirement is Steve has to collect all this data together in one single system and build a beautiful analytical dashboard to give some insights to the management. The key goals are to allow to build this dashboard by combining the data from different data sources, and this dashboard should be available to the CEO of the company even on the mobile and tablets. So that's the requirement which we have. Now let's look at what solutions Steve can use as an IT professional to be able to complete the requirement. The first option which Steve has to implement an on-premise system in his company. What is an on-premise system? An on-premise system means a solution which is installed into your own company's hardware. As a result of that, Steve's company needs to invest a lot on the hardware cost, and also they need to hire security consultants to manage this hardware. Also, Steve's company need to buy the solution as a license of the solution for maybe multi-years. When it comes to scalability of such a solution, Steve's company upfront need to invest lots of money in order to achieve new systems and new hardware to scale up the system as company's operations expands. Whereas now the trending in the market is using a cloud solution. Now what is a cloud solution? A cloud solution allows Steve to onboard with his requirement very quickly. There is no upfront investment at all because the solution is offered as a service in cloud. Another great advantage that the solution already enabled for mobile users anywhere, any platform, any browser, and any device. Since it's a native cloud solution, the implementation time is also very less because Steve can access this solution just by opening up a browser and start consuming it. Also, when it comes to the overall system setup and networking, it will be taken care by the solution provider or so-called service provider in this case. With this, you are able to compare the advantage of using a software as a service solution as compared to an on-premise solution which Steve's company need to implement. And that's where the definition of SAP Analytics Cloud comes into picture. So SAP Analytics Cloud is a software as a service connecting your people, data, and ideas from multiple sources to enable fast and confident decision making. It allows users to discover, visualize, plan, and predict all in one place. It's offered as a cloud solution, which means your company, when they implement SAP Analytics Cloud, they don't have to buy hardware like what we do when you implement a BW system or, for example, a BI or a business object system. your company need to buy the hardware, buy the DVDs, pay the licensing fee for some period of time, and then use the solution in your company. Of course, they need to hire a lot of security, networking consultants to achieve the implementation over a long period of time. Instead of that, an SAP Analytics Cloud is a software as a service which allows Steve to onboard much faster and utilize the functionality without really worrying about the underlying implementation and security. With that, Steve will be able to build the dashboard really quick in the system, and he can get started right from day one, consuming this functionality in a pre-configured software as a service solution. And that's the main advantage of using SAP Analytics Cloud over on-premise based solutions like BI, SAP Rombi, BW, or BobJ. And that's how Steve can also collaborate with his CEO of the company or the management to present this data even in a connected way so that contextual data is presented to the business user or the CEO of the company to take faster and confident decisions. So why not, Steve, to go for SAP Analytics Cloud? Definitely, it's a matter of choice. And this is what is most of the companies are doing these days. Rather than implementing and buying hardware and implementing those on-prem based solutions, they can still use cloud solutions. Of course, there are a lot of factors which depends. We are not saying that on-premise based solutions are completely deprecated. Yet, it's always a debatable topic, which is also one of the important topic in our course to debate and discuss in which case you should go with SAP Analytics Cloud or in which case you should continue to use your on-prem solutions. Our main agenda and focus is to understand this software as a service solution in this course. And let's look at now the detailed course content. What is that you would be learning throughout this course? So it will be an end-to-end single training which will cover all your needs in terms of SAP Analytics Cloud learning. So first we will start with setup of SAP Analytics Cloud system. So as I mentioned, there is no setup required in your local machine. You don't have to buy any hardware. It's a software as a service. So you simply open the browser and start with your trial account in the system. We will learn fundamentals of SAP Analytics Cloud, its architecture, and also SAP Cloud Platform. Then we will learn lots of different scenarios because the entire training is based out of different scenarios and real-time examples. Along with the data will be provided to all of you to practice these examples. Then we will learn in phase 2 all the business intelligence feature of SAP Analytics Cloud, where we will learn about building stories using different available widgets in the system. As I mentioned, all the required data set will be provided as part of this training, so you will not have any issue in terms of data to build your stories. In phase 3, we will learn about planning feature of SAP Analytics Cloud, especially designed for financials expert who would be doing different kinds of planning. In the company, we will learn fundamental topics about what is a planning, and then we will learn advanced features by using the planning data model in SAP Analytics Cloud, which includes driver trees, allocations, distributions, and many more features on planning. Then moving to phase 4, we will learn about digital boardroom. How can you connect all the information coming from different departments and systems together to present in a contextual way to your board members or CEOs? How can you do that? With the help of digital boardroom features of SAP Analytics Cloud. We will also learn one of the very powerful machine learning capability which is embedded as part of SAP Analytics Cloud, including Smart Predict, Smart Insight, and Smart Discovery features in SAP Analytics Cloud. In phase 5, we will discuss about prediction as well as analytical app designer. So SAP Analytics Cloud brings machine learning to the business users without having too much of coding knowledge as well as algorithm knowledge. You will be able to utilize different machine learning algorithms, which includes regression, classification, and time series to be able to develop and give prediction to your data. Then we will also learn SAP Analytics Cloud Analytical Designer, which allows you to build end-to-end applications using SAP Analytics Cloud to take your insight into actions, which helps your business to take quick and smart decisions on the go. We will learn powerful scripting capability features with the different APIs provided by SAC to talk to different layers of SAP Analytics Cloud. Finally, we will learn about live connections and SAC administration. Live connections allows you to fetch the data from different solutions, for example, SAP S/4HANA, BW, and BPC, including the HANA database, which is running on SAP Cloud Platform. We'll talk about concepts of course filters. We'll discuss about SAP Cloud Connector and also SAP SAC Cloud Agent. So these are all the different things which will be required to be learned in order to connect a secure connection between your underlying ERP, BW, or BPC systems with SAP Analytics Cloud to fetch live data and consumes the models which are already built on top of your existing systems. So that's all in all. And finally, we will learn some part of administration, which includes security, data security, user management, and also making SAML enablement for your SAP Analytics Cloud. So let's get started. Who all can join this course? So anyone who is interested to learn SAP Analytics Cloud without any prerequisite, without any pre-technical knowledge can join this course. And the participant could be business users, those who are working like Steve as a business user in the company and want to build stories over the data if you have it. Then we have BW and BI consultants. We're already using BobJ tools currently in your company, and your company have recently taken SAC subscription now. So they want you to develop now the reports as well as the stories on SAC. You would be able to use that. Then BobJ consultants who are currently building dashboards on the live and acquired data can use SAC now to build those stories, responsive stories and applications on SAP Analytics Cloud. Then financial analysts who are currently doing planning, and we have a very powerful solution in the classical world called BPC, where all the plannings have been done, both the distributed and centralized. So here we'll learn about some core concepts of planning, including how can we achieve planning on acquired data model on SAP Analytics Cloud. And then, of course, business analysts and data scientists who want to utilize the power of predictive capabilities which SAP Analytics Cloud offers will be able to use that through this course. So we learn all three types of predictive scenarios which is offered by SAC, which includes regression, time series, and classification with real-time examples. And finally, application developers who are working as an ABAP or S/4HANA BW consultants today in the company, and your company is asking you now to develop complex scripting-based analytical apps with which user can take insight to action. And that's where we have SAP Analytics Designer, a powerful complementary tool comes along with the SAP SAC, which will allow you to develop applications using scripting capabilities. So anybody who's interested can join. Please note, there is no prerequisite to join this course. Anyone who's working on any of these areas, it's relevant, yet it depends completely on your interest. If you're willing to take a journey through about SAP Analytics Cloud, you can definitely do that without any prior experience or without any prerequisites. So let's see what we have got today in the demo. So today in the demo session, we will start with the loading some test data with our use case. And our use case for Steve is we have received last 9 years of hospital bed data in United States of all the different county hospitals. And we would like to prepare now a dashboard for the same. So that is going to be our step one. We will be analyzing the data. We will be loading the data to SAP Analytics Cloud. In step two, we will learn how to create model after wrangling. So wrangling means processing on the data. So SAP Analytics Cloud offers a lot of features with which you can play around with the data. You can do transformations, you can do replacements, deletions, combinations, and different complex formulas you can apply. And all of that comes under wrangling. So we will be enriching the data in this case with geo axis, which is called spatial axis. And then finally, we will build a dashboard or a story on top of this data. Now, it is mandatory to create a data model before we start using our data in any story or any dashboard. So model is nothing but your foundation for any story which contains the processed data, which is finally usable by the stories. Now we need to show all the states on the geo map and then display the total number of beds in each county or hospital, and then also display the breakup of the beds on year basis in each of the hospital. So that's a kind of a drill down we will be seeing in our scenario. First of all, let's see our expected result. So this is going to be our expected result, how it is going to look like. So you can see on the left hand side, we've got a map where it's showcasing all the states, and based on the amount of population we have in each of the state, you can see the circle size is being determined accordingly. So higher the population in a particular state, bigger the size of the circle. And then on the right side here, you see the beds per county are being projected. And when you click on one of the county, for example, then it is showing you the types of beds which are broken down, like ICU bed or normal bed or ventilators enabled bed or oxygen enabled beds. Those breakups are coming per year. You see 2018, 19, and 20 how the hospital is adding up the beds with respect to the particular county. So this is going to be our expected result we will be working on. So since now you understood the requirement, let's understand the easy steps to follow through and complete this requirement. As I mentioned, most of our sessions will be practical scenario based with real data. Now, one important thing we wanted to highlight here with Anubhav trainings, today you may see lots of material on the internet. It's flooded with a lot of material on SAP Analytics Cloud. But the biggest problem, there is no single course which gives you an end-to-end flow of everything with the right sequence. So if you go to YouTube or maybe different channels, you will see a lot of people talking about SAP Analytics Cloud. But there is not a single place where I can start in a more sequential manner with more complicated real-time use cases step by step in the system. So that's something which is today lacking, and that's the gap we wanted to fill with Anubhav trainings for you. This single course is an all-in-one package which is going to complete all the important capabilities which SAC offers with real-time examples. And these examples are built by so much of hard work done behind the scene over months to bring you the best and make you understand all the concepts of SAC. So let's understand for our today's use case, what are all the steps we're going to follow to complete that. So first we're going to understand the requirement. So we understood that already. What is that is needed? As you saw already a snapshot of what is expected. Then the step 2 is to collect the data. So Steve has to, which is our business user, or the technical consultant has to collect the data from all the data sources, which is also done already. I've done it for you. And then the next step is to upload this data to SAP Analytics Cloud. Once the data is uploaded, we are going to wrangle the data and do the blending. Blending is like mixing up. Sometimes you have data across multiple data models or data sources. You're going to combine them with a common key, like foreign key relationship, which you have in the systems. And then that's how you're going to blend the data together to bring it in a shape which can be then consumed by your stories. And then we will have prepared story. So in the prepared story, we will be creating our widgets. Like in this example, you saw we will be creating a chart. We will be creating a geomap, and also we will be creating a set of pie charts to show the breakup of different kinds of bets over years. So that's what we will be doing. And then finally, we will be doing a little bit of styling on our report to make it look beautiful and publish it for the end user for collaboration. So that's going to be our 6-step process today's demo. We are going to work on this real-time use case. So let me first take you through the system and show you the data which we have collected. So I've got this data collected from county website. And this is the data, what you can see, each of the hospital data in different county. So you can see here, the country is US always by default for all records. I have then the state data, and then we have the county, the hospital in that particular county area, and then we have latitude and longitude of the states. Now, together with that, you see the type of the beds which are available in each county, and you can see there are number of beds. So this is currently observed with a unit called 1,000 habitant beds, number of beds per 1,000 habitants. That's the measurement unit right now, which means, for example, it's 2.18, which means there are 2.18 acute beds available in this particular county for the available population for 1,000 per habitant. So if I just wanted to quickly calculate the number of beds, it's going to be my total population multiplied by the number of beds in the HAB unit divided by 1,000. That's my formula which I apply to get the number of acute beds in the system. So you can see this is how we can get the number of beds. So that's just a quick formula. Why am I showing this is because you need to understand the data first before you really get into any use case. So what I have seen most of the time, the trainings which we observe on SAP Analytics Cloud, the trainer doesn't tend to explain the data set and they directly start building stories. But that won't happen with us with Anubhav trainings. We're going to explain you the data first, what the data is, how it is represented, what exactly the significance for the business for this data, and also, of course, fundamentals, like, for example, when we go to planning, what does allocation means? What does variance means? Yeah. What does a value driver tree? What are all the factors which influence my balance sheet in a financial planning? So those fundamental topics, like, for example, when you start SAC, you need to know what is SAP Cloud Platform, what exactly happening behind the scene, what is a live data connection, what is an acquired data model. So we need to understand these terminologies. We need to understand these basics, which is kind of currently when I was learning SAC, I was kind of very confused with these terminologies. And when I study hard to find out all the material available and then blending through this, we have built a very strong understanding. And that's what we're going to share it with you throughout this course. You're going to learn it with these real-time powerful use cases to understand the business, the use cases, and what to do in each kind of use case, how to address that particular use case with what different requirements. So that's what we're going to do that, guys. So let's get started. So that's our data set. Now we know this, what data we have. I'm going to go back, switch over to the system. So this is our SAP Analytics Cloud system. We're going to start with a new story right away on this data set. So today what I'm going to do is just drag my data set and drop it to the browser. And here I'll say prepare my data set. So what system is now doing, it's just uploading this data onto SAP Analytics Cloud for me to start doing a blending as well as data wrangling, and then we can start building the story on top of this data. So first we will have the data which is uploaded, and this is what is called acquired data set. Of course, we also have live data set connections, which we're going to learn in unit number 15. But today we will have acquired data set thing. So now you can see it has loaded almost all records, and this is where we can start our data wrangling. For example, now with this latitude and longitude, I would like to prepare another geospatial column. A geospatial column is mandatory to project a coordinate on a map, on a geo map. So that's why it's a mandatory column. So I'm going to do the geospatial column enablement in this data set by just clicking on these two columns. So I select them, and now I'm going to say map, and I will say coordinates. And we're going to add here, let's say, for example, location, and I will choose my latitude and longitude coordinates. Yeah. So this is very important. I'll click on OK. And now you will see a new column called location will be introduced in the system, which is showcasing our geospatial data. Nice. So this is one simple example, as this is just a demo session. I will not be able to show more types of transformation as well as data wrangling options, but there are a lot of them. We're going to explore them in our unit number 3. But let's get started with this one. So I've got my location now over here, and I can also check here the quality of my data set. So you can see here, there are 275 entries with the same geo coordinate, and how this will be now semantically represented on the map. Semantically means, for example, this coordinate belongs to what? Is it belonging to county, or is it belonging to country, or is it belonging to the state? So here, if you observe, this is basically state coordinates. So I'm going to say description is going to be represented for these coordinates as a state. So we just do that. Now we're done. We have just kind of did a basic relationship over here, and you can also do a lot of different features. As you can see on the top, we can explore all of them, including the concepts of hierarchy. There are 2 types of them, parent, child, and level based. We will understand the difference and create all these kinds of operations and transformation, including data wrangling and data blending. But for now, this is it. We prepared our data, and now we'll switch over to the story. Now, what I would recommend at this point is to just fire a blank save, just to, just in case your internet connection goes away or something goes wrong, your data set which you uploaded should not get compromised. So it's better to immediately fire a save on our story, and we're going to save it in our system with a name, something which is more meaningful. So I'm going to say story underscore hospital data, hospital beds, USA, and we can click on OK. So as part of our training blog, I'm going to also share all the data sets with you. So whatever examples and scenarios which I'm showcasing you in the course, you guys can try those things up yourself. So let me delete this panel. I don't need the left side panel. I can just delete that for now. And I can also delete the description section. And now we have got an empty canvas to start painting. Yeah. So let's quickly include a geomap. So click on plus and add a geomap over here. And you can see we've got a beautiful geomap added. And now it's time to provide this geomap something called a layer. A layer identifies what coordinates to project on the screen. So I'm going to add a bubble layer to indicate my coordinates as a bubble. So let's click on add layer and add a location dimension and choose location here. And you would see quickly set of bubbles are now being marked here for each of the state out there in USA. Now, what we also do is we will just mention that we want our size of the bubble as per the population in each of the states. So bigger the bubble is, higher the population in that state. So I'm going to just do that. And you can see now here it's showcasing you that which state has the higher population as per the size of the bubble. You can also do that population color coding. The state which has high population will be showed in a different color as compared to the one which has the lower population. So you can see we can choose all these things. We can also now go back and change the color code for the bubbles. You can see there are different color palettes to choose from. You can also increase the opacity and decrease the opacity for these bubbles. For example, I just keep it like this. So now that's the first part. So as you know, our requirement first was to detect all the states with their population is done now. You can also go ahead and choose different types of geo maps. For that, I will go to the OK, and again I can here choose different variety of maps. So maybe I go with the transparent gray, dark gray one. Just select that, and you would see quickly my map will change to a little dark gray one. I can also go ahead and now see the data being projected for the USA more closely in the system. That's nice. So our first geomap is done. Just keep saving your story. You can also create more pages in the story. We can probably go back and just rename this page over here. Let's say bed analysis. Click on OK. And now what I will do next is I will add on the right hand side each county as per the number of beds. So for that, what we will do is we will go ahead and add a chart. Click on plus, and you can see a chart has come up. So of course, when you add a chart, you should have dimensions and measures. Measures are your numeric properties, and dimensions are your attributes against which you're observing the patterns. Okay, so we will go with a comparison chart. Maybe I will keep the same one as a bar chart. And now I will add my measure. And this time it's going to be a calculated measure because we want to represent exact number of beds. And as you just saw when I was showing the data set, the number of beds is something we had to calculate because the beds in my data was per 1,000 inhabitants as a measure. So I have to calculate the number of beds actually with a calculation. So I can say add a calculation, and we can choose a calculated measure, and we can say number of beds. And this is going to be basically my population multiplied by beds divided by 1,000. So that's the formula. We can add more complicated and complex formulas when it comes to SAP Analytics Cloud. We are going to have a lot of discussion around these different options which are there in the formula. Now can click on OK for now. And this is what shows you here the number of total beds in entire USA, but we wanted to see it based on different counties. So we can add dimension as counties. And now you will see the number of beds per county. So it's by default sorting this up in descending order. We can also come back and change the color coding here depending on what you think you would like to be, or you can have also the same color for all the bars. So you can just do that like this. So now that's about the number of beds. The next requirement was for each of the bed, each of the county, we have to show the breakup, how in that particular county, the number of beds have been broken down over years. So for that, I'm going to add another chart. And this time I'm going to go with the pie chart. So I'll go with the pie chart, and I will add the measure again as number of beds, which I've just calculated. Or we can also go by beds because we want to do it in percentage, or you can also go with number of beds. And in the dimension here, you're going to add it based on the type. So please tell me based on different types, whether it is ICU, acute, or psychiatric or other type of beds. And now it shows me a pie chart, which is showcasing a breakup of number of beds in that particular county. So you can see this is currently showing it for entire country, but of course we have to do a kind of a drill down configuration to be able to see the number of beds only in the selected county. So we're going to do that analysis in a moment. But before that, if you observe, the requirement was to showcase the breakup of beds over years rather than just showing a total number. So what we are going to do now is we are going to add in another interesting and amazing feature which SAP Analytics Cloud offers, is called Trellis. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to add over here something called a trellis. And then I will give my trellis dimension as something called year. You can see here year, and this is actually hierarchy. And now maybe I just expand the hierarchy to level 2. which is number of years. And voila, you see over here on the system, it's now showing 2012, 13, and so on. The breakup of number of beds in multiple pie charts over last 8 years or 9 years data, whatever we have in our data set. So this is the beauty, this kind of capability SAP Analytics Cloud does offer to us when it comes to building advanced analytics. So let me also expand a little bit our chart sizes. And now it's time that we do the breakdown depending on the selection. So first breakdown, what I want to do is based on selection of state. So what I want is whenever user select a state, I want to show all the county in that state. So I want to only show the number of beds related to that selected state county. So I will go back and activate something called a linked analysis. So we're going to have a lot of discussion about this in our chapter number 5 in the course. So I will say, hey, whenever somebody select a data point, one of the state, what you do is just filter my data in this bar chart. So in my bed per county, just filter that, and this should be done on selection of a data point. So whenever I select a data point, please do the linked analysis and show me only the counties for that state, selected state, and show me those number of beds out there. Click on apply. And similar kind of linked analysis, I'll do it on our chart. Whenever user select a particular county, show me how that county is adding the number of beds over the years. So just do a linked analysis on the bar chart now, and again just say only on selected widgets on data point selection, and please update my pie chart trellis with the over the years how that particular county is adding the hospitals. So with that, we're done. We just quickly save our story. And now it's time that we quickly go back and view the results. So click on view mode. And now you see we are in the view mode. So first of all, I'm going to select maybe Texas. So let me go and select the data point Texas. And you see here in my chart, it's showing all the counties within the Texas and showing the number of beds within this. You can also apply more runtime filtering here on this data. So for example, I can go and do a lot of filtering and a lot of capabilities, which I can do that. We're going to discuss all of these, for example, ranking to show only the top 5 or bottom 5. So just do that. And now you see it only shows me top 5 counties, which are having more number of beds. So within Texas, now we have these top 5 counties. Now, for example, I select one of the county for that particular county. Now you can see they have only added bed in 2017 and 19. In 2017, they had beds for acute, for psychiatric, as well as for other. But they had no ICU beds in 2017. But in 2019, they have added 100% of the capacity of beds. About 924 beds were added as ICU beds, probably in 2019. So likewise, you can do multiple drill downs when it comes to your data point selection. As you can see in the system, more data points I select, the data is changing on fly at runtime. This is the kind of capability SAP Analytics Cloud do offer when it comes to drilling down to the data. And there's a lot more. This is just a basic demo which I'm showing you today. Of course, we're going to do a lot when we go to the actual course. Now, last part is do the styling. So if you see the expected outcome was something with a blue color background. So how I'm going to do that. And also we can change the labels here, population in USA, and we can just do that. So I can come back and quickly change labels. Population per state in United States. And now what I will do is just select this panel, add styling, and we can just choose the styling as an image. And I can just quickly go ahead and grab an image from my computer. So let me quickly upload an image in my from my computer to my report, and I can just select and add that over here. Just say insert, and we are done. So we say please cover up the whole page with this image. And now you've got the beautification. We can also go and change quickly the coloring for my for my bar chart. So we can also come here and say, please show as orange. I can also change the font size as well. So you can see how beautiful it looks. Same thing I will apply for this guy. So we're going to explore a lot of styling options which SAP Analytics Cloud do provide us. Stay tuned. We have a lot of actions when it comes to styling which you can do to make your dashboards more attractive and usable and consumable by your end users. So that's our data. I hope this was helpful. You got a first idea of how can you use SAP Analytics Cloud to build the dashboards using the data set. But of course, that's not all SAP Analytics Cloud offer. It offers a lot more functionality as compared to what I showed you in the demo. Since we have a limited time in the demo, I could only show you one simple example, but it's flooded with lots of functionality, which we are going to learn, including planning, analytic designer, and prediction. With the machine learning bringing to the end user, that's the main power of this Analytics Cloud. So let's quickly have a look at now some of the frequently asked questions, as you might have asked these questions to us in the past. So I have collected all of them on this final slide before we wrap up this demo. So is there any prerequisite to learn this course? Definitely not. With Anubhav Training's zero prerequisite, we will cover all of the prerequisites you need to know, which includes fundamentals of cloud platform, basics of BW analytics, BI, database, HANA, and S4HANA introduction. This is all on the time basis, need basis. We will be including as part of the course. You can start this course without any prior knowledge of anything. Yes, of course, it's recommended to have basic idea of SAP, but other than that, there is no other prerequisites when it comes to this course. What are all covered in this course? We will be covering all the pillars, the 4 pillars of SAC, which includes BI, planning, predictive, and designer, including digital boardroom, live connection, and administration. All of this, as I mentioned, all in one in single package, single course. So you don't need to run away or run through any of the other material, and don't get confused with material on the internet. It is all in well organized way, in a well planned sequence we will be covering. Where do I practice? What about server access? So SAP offers a free trial for SAC. In our next session, I will show you how to set up your own free trial. And good news is now they are also offering now the planning capabilities, which means you can also try out most of the planning capabilities as part of SAC in this course. So with the trial itself. So will you show the live data connection? If yes, which are all the systems will you cover? So yes, I will show you live data connection with S4, BW, BPC, and SAP HANA in cloud. All of this will be covered as part of the course. How do I enroll for the course and what's the duration? The total duration is 40 hours, 40, and you can email us on install.abap@gmail.com to subscribe for this course. Where can I find the detailed course content for this course? So you can go to our course page on Anubhav Training /SAP Analytics Cloud Training, and that's where you can find out and grab the detailed course content on SAC. Will I get also the study material? Yes, I will guide you through all the study material where on the need basis, where you can read more about each of the topic. But more importantly, all the study material is like what I showed you a slide. I will be writing it in front of you in the slide. And then this slide will be shared with you. And of course, different links and the study material sources will be shared where you can grab the material yourself. Now, is the training real time? Yes, we are going to cover all the real time scenarios, including different case studies, exercises, and this is all scenario oriented training. What about SAC certification? So please note this course is designed by keeping in mind SAC certification topics. The flow and the breakup of the course is also according to that. So we will also help you to write the certification exam. Of course, we ourselves don't offer that. It's offered by SAP. So we will help you how to go for Learning Hub subscription and then what is the exam code and some of the tips to crack the certification exam. Can I also attend the course in video mode in case I miss a class? Yes, of course. We have both modes available, video and live. So you can, of course, attend. In case you missed a live session, you can watch the video later point of time for this course. So with that, I guess we are done. For more details, feel free to visit us on anubhavtrainings.com. And thank you so much for your time today, attending this demo session live with me on YouTube. And I hope to see you joining our course is starting today. From the next class onwards, we'll start. Our next class topic would be setting up your SAP Analytics Cloud environment. With that, thank you so much. Feel free to email us on install.abap@gmail.com to join this course. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next class. Hello and welcome everyone to the demo session on SAP Analytics Cloud Training with me, Anubhav. In this demo session live on YouTube, we will discuss about the basic introduction of what is SAP Analytics Cloud. We will look at the course overview and we will also discuss who is this course for. Towards the end of the demo, we will look at a real-time use case by building